This position that we're going to be going over can be applied from side control, half guard, and full mount. It's super transitional, it's very punishing, it's very dominant. However, it doesn't score anything, but it's used for you to score. In side control, I got my knee in his armpit, my other knee in his hip, sternum to sternum, okay? Hand by his head goes under his head. Hand by his armpit goes under his armpit, and I clasp my hands together. Now, from here, I set my weight in my hands, so look what my shoulder's doing. My shoulder's crushing his face. I'm not leaning, because if I extend myself, he can roll me over. I keep my weight in my butt, and I just lean my shoulder into his jaw. Okay, that pushes into my hands, so my hands are kind of cemented in the floor, and I take my elbow, and I reach it out as far as I can. Now my butt can come up because I got this kickstand out here. If you notice, when this kickstand's out, there's a ton of space in here, right? And under my armpit by his. So, because my weight's distributed, leaned on my elbow heavily, I don't want to half-ass this, I want to get all the way in. I can release his head. And from here, my hand becomes a knife and slides under his armpit. And my elbow hits the floor, right in his armpit, okay? My hand slaps him in the hip, and I turn to look at his feet. So, my butt's in his armpit, my elbow's in his armpit, and I'm looking away from him, okay? And I'm gonna back myself up. Elbow, butt, until you see his arms start coming in high. From here, I can reach back and collect his head. Okay, this is super uncomfortable, and I'm not even all the way in yet. Okay, my chest goes flat, and my hand goes underneath his head. My palm is up. This position I call the garden. Some people call it dead arm side control. I use garden. If you hear garden, this is it. His elbow has to be deeper than my armpit. Okay, my hand has to be by his shoulder, and I want to put him flat. Okay, this sucks. Mostly for him, it's great for me. Okay, it's a ton of pressure. It pulls the shoulder, it stretches the scapula, and it puts quite a bit of pressure on the throat. Not really enough to make someone go to sleep, but enough that they hate it. Okay, what's important though is there's nothing on this side to stop me from doing anything. Okay, so from here, I lean on his head, and I take the weight off my knee by his hip. I just put my knee on his hip. He's not going to go anywhere. He's stuck. So from here, I just shove my hips forward until my knee hits the floor. And I unhook my foot, and I sit down. The whole time, his head's locked in place. If anything, this position's gotten worse for him. Once here, you can sprawl, you can hook the legs, you can grapevine, whatever, and just wait for the ref. He'll make the count. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. If you want, you can then let go, because you're already here. Personally, I'm not. I'm gonna hold this as long as humanly possible and just collect. Regular side control. Kickstand out. Release the head and pummel under his armpit. Collecting and sitting. Scoot back, scoot back. When that arm gets real high, comb his hair with your elbow and come under his head. Back to side control, okay? The deeper that arm or the elbow is in your armpit, the better, right? Give him a little pressure, you can base out, knee on the belly, over the top, sprawl it out. You can grapevine, you can crisscross, doesn't matter. Collect your points from here. Make sense? This one should be pretty easy, guys. Let's go.